gorgeous people, and welcome back to my channel. This week we're talking all about productivity and how you can work smarter, not harder. Trying to be good and achieve everything is very time consuming, but at the same time I still want to do a lot. I want to be good at socializing, I want to be good at getting my YouTube videos out, I want to be good at fitness, I want to be good at spending time with my friends, my job. As you guys know, I love surfing, and in the last 10 days I've had to turn surfing down 3 times because I just couldn't have it both ways. I had too much to do, so if I wanted to have my evening off in order to have a nice meal, maybe go out, get some tapas, have a few drinks, I couldn't also go surfing. I had to figure out how to work smarter and not harder because I already feel like I'm at the end of how much time I can give. You might be thinking, Alicia, you release a YouTube video every week, you work a 9-to-5 job, you go on road trips, you go explore New Zealand, and yes, you're 100% right, and I'm very proud of myself, but you are seeing the highlights. Although whilst we're on the topic of YouTube videos, if you wouldn't so mind dropping me a like and a subscribe, that would help me out so much, and also the longer you watch this video, the better this video will do. Let's jump in on how we can increase productivity and work smarter, not harder. So if you clicked on this video, the chances are you want to figure out how to be more productive. But here's the thing. Define productivity. When I first started looking into productivity and studies that represented it, I was really surprised to find a study that was solely discussing the ambiguity of the word productivity and the problems that it causes in businesses. So the way that they try and define it is with productivity, you have input versus output. So the output that I'm interested in is getting edited videos out to you guys and building muscle in the gym, spending time exploring New Zealand and doing things that I love. And then input is time that it takes to do it, energy expended doing it, and any resources I might need to put in, like money or time is my main thing. Yeah. Also in this study, they talked about the opposite of productivity, and they defined it quite nicely as waste. This kind of helped me wrap my head around the productivity thing a little bit more, because if I sit down at my desk for 2 hours and I come out with a script 3/4 written and some research done, then the waste of that 2 hours was really low. If I sit down at my desk and I come out with a freshly watched episode of The Office and one study but I haven't even read it, then the waste of that 2 hours was low. And then you can think about it that way, so your productivity was low. To be clear though, it's important not to label your enjoyable time as waste. So I spend so much time every week chilling with Ben, watching Netflix, eating food, cooking food, thinking about food, socializing, playing games, and that is not waste. I'm not wasting my life doing these things. If anything, I'm living more than ever, but it's when you do them. So if you say you're going to do work in 2 hours, spend the 2 hours working. Another really key point that was made in this paper is the confusion between profit and productivity. Now this is somewhere that I think I've been going really wrong, because profit to me is edited videos. A finished video that I can put up on my channel for all of you beautiful people to watch, and the more edited videos I have, the richer I am, the more profit I have. However, there is a lot of stuff that I need to do in order to reach that end goal, including research, script writing. I might go and do something. If it's a vlog video, for example, I've got to download all the content, I've got to make the visuals, do the research and read the papers and annotate the papers. But at the same time, I was not allocating myself any reward time or just time in general to get these things done, because if I wasn't editing a video, I was wasting time. Now, a really helpful thing that I found in this paper that I think is going to help you become more productive is something called the Triple P model. Now, the Triple P model is made up of 5 concepts. Yes, you heard that right. The Triple P model is made up of 5 concepts. Anyway, these 5 concepts are productivity, profitability, performance, efficiency, and effectiveness. And the model's pretty simple, other than its name, which makes no damn sense. If you can improve the effectiveness of your performance, you will increase your efficiency. And by doing so, you've decreased the input needed to make the output. So in other words, you've worked smarter, not harder. And overall, this means you've limited waste, increased productivity, and increased profitability. So let's jump into how we can use the 3 Ps and 2 Es in the dumbly named Triple P model. It doesn't make me angry, it doesn't affect me at all. If we can master the 3 Ps and the 2 Es in the Triple P model, then we should be more productive. So let's jump into how we can target them, work smarter, not harder, to have a more enjoyable life and still get our work done. The first way that I want to discuss with you guys is that you are in charge of your own time, meaning you can pick what's important. At any given moment, you are doing what you are choosing to do. And this is a really important revelation to have. If you take charge of your own time and your own effort and energy, you can expend it on what you want to. You can pick one thing that you want to get done by the end of the day. Try and make sure it's something you could definitely do in the time given. And then if you don't get your whole to-do list done that day, at least you've got this one highlighted task completed. Hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be able to fine-tune your life and to-do list so perfectly that you will never miss a beat again. But in the meantime, this is a really good place to start. So set one thing, meet that one thing, and you've got this. The next one is in my top 2 favorites, and this is protected time. Now, I've been thinking of protected time backwards. I thought protected time was the time you're not spending working. You are making sure that you have time to do things you enjoy, and therefore you're not going to do any work. That is not what protected time is. Protected time is actually when you book yourself out so that you're unavailable to others, so that you can immerse yourself in a task that you have to get done. You're going to book out those 2 hours. That is the sole purpose of those 2 hours. And at the end of the day, if you haven't completed your whole to-do list, but you've got this one thing done, then you can just feel great about yourself because you're doing amazing. So I'm going to talk to you about how I deal with my protected time, and also pray that you don't judge me for my weird Amy Santiago personality bullcrap. I have a countdown. In fact, it's behind me right now. It's over there. I have a countdown. This is my countdown. This countdown said 20 hours. I have 7 more hours to add to it. And that is how much time I have protected in a week to get my video out and ready for you. Recently, I have found a big problem with this structure. And before you say, yes, Alicia, you are a sociopath with systematic serial killer tendencies, and it's very weird that you count your time down, that's not the problem, actually, okay? The timer works quite well. The problem is that the tasks that are allotted to the time are too specific and are making me feel guilty about doing other types of work. You see, the task that allows me to press start on that timer for it to start going down is video editing, and only video editing. So filming before I started researching for this video wouldn't have counted towards that time. Researching didn't count. Exercising didn't count. It's something I had to add. So I had to reassess. I knew that I was going to have to increase the time on the timer. Hey gorgeous people, I am just back from work and I haven't worked out in 10 days, and I feel like I'm just struggling to get stuff done. I'm upping my timer to 27 hours. I decided that I needed approximately 14 hours for editing a week, 7 hours in order to get my fitness in. I'm not working out for 7 hours, I'm not insane. 4 hours is my goal in a week, that's my dream, but obviously you've got to get ready. And then 10 hours for brainstorming, reading research papers, annotating research papers, script writing. I'm gonna set it now. I'm gonna try and get some hours off it tonight. Yeah, I hope this tactic works because I don't feel productive right now and I feel like I've kind of lost my rhythm. I'm just trying to get it back. Minuscule change of plan. We're gonna do a 20-hour timer and then a 7-hour timer, but I just don't know if it's gonna be too much. The point I'm making here is that if you're worried that you're not being productive, are you taking into account the full breadth of activities that have to take place in order for you to achieve your goals and in order to feel productive? Because if there is stuff that you have to do in order to achieve something, then it's not time out, it's still hard work. So you need to be taking it into account when you're making your plans for leisure time, work time, fitness time, and all that jazz. One night down and I am pretty happy with that. Tip number 3 is time management and time blocking, and this one is not for me. My timer is my time management and time blocking, but for someone who's doing something maybe less varied as video editing, if you have fewer tasks but they take up a lot of time, time blocking is probably perfect. The idea is that you're not multitasking, you're not flicking and changing between tasks, and it allows you to pull from the type of energy you need in order to complete a task without any interruptions. One paper actually found that switching between activities causes your brain to frantically switch between 2 energy sources, and found that you lose about 20% of your overall productivity by trying to do 2 tasks at once. Single tasking, which can be very much related to time blocking, is where you pick one task and you do that task for that amount of time. And this study found that it can make you up to 80% more productive. And remember, productivity is lack of waste. So you can just dive in and completely immerse yourself in your task and get it done and hit your goals and knock it out the park. The 4th thing I think is something that everybody is not very good at. I think as humans, we're not very good at it. And that is underestimating the length of time a task is gonna take.
How long is this going to take?
Back when I started my YouTube channel, I did this all the time. And I was able to kind of counteract these effects by literally timing myself to do something. I noted how much footage I have, what length it was, and I timed every time I video edited how long it would take. And that's how I came up with the number that is on my countdown for, you know, my serial killer tendencies. You're next. I think a good rule of thumb for trying to predict how long a task is going to take is just to flat out double it. Because if you run into, I don't know, technical difficulties that take 8 hours to resolve, if you double it, at least you have some time left in that window. And the more you do something and the better you know yourself and your work rhythm, you're going to become much better at doing that scheduling. But you got to start somewhere, and I think you got to start overestimating how long something takes by a fair margin just to put yourself in the safe zone. Pad that time budget, pad the shit out of it. Okay, I am low-key exhausted and I really need to go to bed, but I am down to 9 hours and 10 minutes. I feel like I'm being given credit by my own brain for the work that I've done. I am starting to think I've overestimated how much time I need to put in. Our next tip is bulking tasks. This one is so damn difficult, but I can see how it would work really well for maybe a business that is selling a physical product. If you have to assemble a good before you mail it off, don't do one at a time. Assemble one particular part all at once, then move on to all of them for the next part, then put all of them in the envelopes, and then take all of them to the post box. That's going to increase your productivity by like 80%, and then your brain's not wasting energy flicking between two tasks. This quite nicely brings me on to my next point. Learn from your mistakes. We're all human. I don't have a clue what I'm doing, and I don't, you know, they say you've got to do something for, what is it, like 10,000 hours in order to be like professional at something. No, not even close. Learn from your mistakes. Learn your work rhythm, learn what burns you out, and you'll be fine. You just need to make sure that you're staying in tune with it when you don't meet tasks. Why didn't you meet that task? Finally, we have a beautiful tip to finish on. The pièce de résistance tip. That is to decrease your interrupted work time. Yes, I made it through the title. Good job, me. The research for this was weirdly enlightening and much more extreme than I expected it to be. They discovered that personal visits, it's a billet. They found that personal visits from colleagues in a workspace made up 90% of all workplace interruptions, and email caused the rest. This was in 1989, so take it with a pinch of salt because workplaces have changed a lot. I can definitely see in my workplace where I am, and also when I'm in the office and Ben's in the house, how that is the main interruption. And it might be about something in a vacuum that's important and very quick, but then you have a chat. You shoot the breeze. You're like, how's it going, dude? You know? In this particular study, they found that the average time a visit would take out of that person's day was 20 minutes, and that each developer had about 3 to 5 interruptions, which was a total of about 1.5 hours a day spent just on interruptions from their colleagues. I then moved on to the graphs and the visuals within this paper, and I think I read them like 20 times because I was like, this cannot be right. I'm reading a unit wrong, I'm reading a title wrong, something just isn't computing in my head because this maths doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to present you with the maths anyway because it seems to check out. There were 2 different sections. There were the workers and there was the senior developers. Now, I chose to relate to the senior developers for the reason that I'm working alone with no other colleagues in an office surrounded by no other workers. My only interruption person is Ben. The average interruption that they found for senior developers was 2.8 hours. The average, so an average of one interruption, 2.8. How long are some of these interruptions? That means that there has to be some like that are 4 to 6 hours long. It's gotta be. But actually, I feel like I'm gonna pull the graph up. It says it. It says the range of these interruptions. It's massive. And this is why I was like, this cannot be correct. And then I thought about it in my specific circumstance. Sometimes I might be doing some work on a Saturday morning and we do our fruit and veg shop at a market on Saturday because it's just so much better from the market. Ben might come in and be like, hey boo, want a cup of tea? And I'm like, fuck yeah. And then he's like, we have to go to the market. When we come back, what do? We make lunch, we watch Netflix, and then I finally come back to my desk 4.5 hours later. So yeah, I can actually see how 2.8 hours is the average in this study. So let's talk about the ways you can combat this, because goddamn, that's a lot of time. Things I found to be particularly bad interruptions or excuses for me. One, going to the toilet, because I allow myself only to scroll on my phone if I need a bathroom break, which I think means I go to the bathroom more than I actually need to. So one of the things I've now started doing is if I'm about to stand up and grab my phone, I'm like, am I actually bursting to go to the loo? The answer, half the time, was no. So that has saved me some time and made me a bit more efficient. The second thing, predict my own needs. One of the things I love to have is a hot drink because I am an extremely cold person when I'm sat still. I lose fingers. Oh my god, no. I lose feeling in my fingers. My feet become ice cold, and a hot drink just keeps me turning over, keeps me going. The problem is I drink my hot drink quite quickly and then I get up and go to the kitchen to make a fresh one, and who's in the kitchen? Ben. So we have a 20-minute chat and then I come back to my desk. That's 30 minutes gone. So I got this. Now, this was given to me from work when I first started, and it is a thermos cup and it comes with a lid. And you guys, I'm not kidding. I make a cup of tea in this and I go into an hour meeting and it's still too hot for me to drink when I finish that hour meeting. So I can use it to take hot drinks in here with me along with my mug and have a larger supply of hot drink to get me through. My next tip in order to reduce your interruptions is note the time you start working. Sit down at your desk, start doing your work, note the time on the clock, and the next time you feel the need to get up and take a break, how long have you actually been working? Because I find I break focus at around 25 to 35 minutes, and if I get up from my desk 20-30 minutes before I come back. However, if I push through to an hour, I'm so much more invested in the task that I'm doing. I no longer want to get up from my desk and have a break. So try and make it to an hour or 90 minutes before you grant yourself a little break from whatever it is that you're getting on with. And finally, the last thing I would say to you guys is alert the people around you that you are in a protected time, that you are trying to not have any interruptions, and that you just need to get this shit done. Ben is very supportive, he's very cool. So when it comes to that kind of thing, it's not hard and there's no interruptions there. Also, airplane mode on my phone, not taking any calls, I'm not taking any video chats, and I'm definitely not getting any notifications that someone liked something, because then I'm like, who? Oh, it's been an hour and a half. So make sure that you set your phone to a non-interruptive mode, make sure the people around you know that you've got shit to be doing, and just crack on with what it is that you are working towards. I really hope that this video helped. I did so much freaking research for this video, and I do think it's full of some really useful and amazing tips to work smarter and not harder. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, make sure to jump on down to that subscribe button, and also head over to my channel and catch up on any videos that you might have missed. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you next week, and good luck with whatever venture you are embarking on at this moment in time. I love you so much. Bye!